Okay, you guys. So Pitch Perfect stars Ada Kendrick and Brittany Snow and many other cast. And as a fairly decent story, it's about a girl named Becca. She's a freshman in a university college of a Barden University College, and she's a freshman, and she's a pretty good singer, and she loves to sing, and she has a goal in singing and stuff, and she has a group, and she joins a group um, about singing, and that group is called the Bellas, and it's these girls right here. They're called the Bellas, and she joins this group, and they rehearse about the concerts and stuff they got to go to, and what they go through is really kind of tough in some ways, but um, yeah, it's I slightly like this movie for two reasons. Um, now those two reasons I will get to in a little bit, but for now, I'll definitely say what I think about the movie first. What I think about this movie, it could have been well. Actually, I'll just put it this way. I wasn't a fan of it at all, but uh, I didn't really enjoy this film as much. Well, in many reasons because I'm not really a big musical person. If you enjoyed this movie more than I did, I'm happy for you. But I'm not a fan of musicals at all, especially when it comes to movies. It's just not my cup of tea. Like I said, guys, if you enjoyed this film a lot more than I did, I'm glad that you enjoyed the film. I'm glad you love it, but yeah, for me, it's just not a movie for me. This movie is just not for me. It's meant for musical people that loves music and loves singing and loves R&B and B and stuff. But I'm not a fan of this movie. I'm not saying that this is a horrible movie. I'm not saying it's a bad movie or anything like that. But it definitely isn't a great one. It's not nowhere near the level of great at all. But maybe it's just me, and I'm kind of a sucker for movies, and you know, yeah. It's a slightly decent film. I mean, I slightly liked it a little bit. I didn't like it as much as everybody else did, but I slightly liked the film because of two reasons. I'm gonna get to those right now. Um, Now, the two reasons I like this movie is because of that one scene in the shower with all those girls in there. That was, yeah, I almost had a erection when I saw that. That was a really good part that I will never mention again. And there was this one scene that had a really good reference to um, a Breakfast Club. That was really cool. A nice little reference there from the. A spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. There's a reference from the Breakfast Club at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert. So yeah, yeah, that, yeah. That there was definitely a spoiler alert for you guys. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, um, you should have covered you. You guys should have covered your ears by now if you heard the spoiler already. So yeah, anyway, yeah, Pitch Perfect. It's not a perfect movie by any means, but definitely not a perfect movie at all. It has problems, and I just explained why I didn't like it as much as everybody else did. At the same time, I didn't hate the film. It's just I'm not a fan of the film. So yeah, it has its problems, and that's why I'm going to give it a C because I slightly, little tiny bit liked it, um, but just not all the way. Not good enough. It's not great enough. It's not good enough. I'm not going to give it a perfect score at all, as it says pitch perfect. You know, it's just not a great movie. and I can see why people love it. I can see why people love this movie so much. I can see why people praise it a lot and give it great reviews and stuff, but I'm not a fan because I'm not really a fan of musicals. It's just my least favorite genre of movies is musical, especially after High School Musical. But yeah, it has a pretty decent plot. I will admit that the story is actually pretty decent in this movie. I will admit that the story in this movie is pretty decent. And the music, I'm not a fan of at all. The music is just cliched and dumb to me. Just my opinion. If you hate me for it, I really don't blame you because I'm just not a fan of this type of music. You know, but like I said before, it has that one little reference I just mentioned before in my spoiler alert thing I did. But yeah, it could have been a lot better to me. But yeah, well, I wasn't really expecting much anyway. I wasn't really expecting a spectacular movie like this at all. Um, uh, uh, um, uh, uh, I mean, it's just not great. It's not amazing, but it definitely is worth a one watch. I really don't see myself ever watching it again, ever. But I guess give it a shot. But I'm not a fan. So I think I've already gave my grade already. So I guess I'll just wrap up this video, and I will see you guys in the next one, in the next review I will do very soon. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys later.